There. Everybody? Jake? All right.
So,
LGBT history in public schools. Harvey Milk, the first openly gay man elected in office, once said, "If you are not personally free to be yourself in the most important of all human activities, the expression of love, then life itself loses meaning." Not that many people today know of Harvey Milk unless they choose to know about him. He was one of the earliest LGBT advocates in the US and later a martyr for a movement that would soon sweep the nation. LGBT people have dotted historical points in history, becoming central and key to the progression of the world, such as Sylvia Rivera, Marsha B. Johnson, Eleanor Roosevelt, Leonardo da Vinci, Walt Whitman, and countless more. Yet most of the youth don't know about these existence and identities due to the lack of LGBT history taught within public schooling. It should be mandatory for public schools to mention LGBT history and activism, as LGBT history is the world's history. LGBT education creates the possibility for average students to expand their worldview. By expanding the average student's worldview, it opens them up to new possibilities as well as accepting LGBT students for who they are. Educating many students leads to a decrease of bullying of LGBT students by 15%. Bullying of LGBT students is what leads to statistics such as LGBT youth contemplate suicide 3 times the rate of heterosexual or straight youth, and is 5 times more likely to have attempted suicide. This education could also create the bonds between the individual students. If a discussion was started, it could potentially progress into a whole culture of acceptance with the younger generation as time goes on. LGBT issues have become part of America's culture, politics, and progression. People are starting to realize the importance of LGBT issues in everyday life, and they are showing in ways such as the Supreme Court decision in 2015, which legalized gay marriage nationwide. California getting rid of Proposition 8, which eliminated the right of same-sex couples to marry. As time goes on, the amount of LGBT youth keeps rising steadily, as the year is showing a correlation that as a society, we become more progressed and accepted. The easier it is for people to come to terms and accept themselves. A society's base comes from young people of the generation, and the easiest way to create the base of accepting and love is to allow teaching of LGBT topics in public schools so that we may become a more loving place. If we put in a system for students and young people to learn and engage with others about discussions relevant to everyone's past, we could be able to progress into the future. That's why it's important that we add LGBT history to be taught in public schools around the nation. We could clear up misconceptions and myths about the LGBT population as we hold these important discussions. People should have the chance to explore themselves and their identities and be able to look up to great people of the past to make change. This might also leave a path for people to open up new discussions that they couldn't previously have for one reason or another, such as things like queer sexual education to students. Society's base and future is represented by the youth, and the youth should love and learn about their past. As Harvey Milk, one of the greatest unknown activists of modern history, said, "If you are not personally free to be yourself in the most important of all human activities, the expression of love, then life itself loses meaning."
Yay, good job. Hey. There we go.
You didn't show Jake.
Okay.
Fully.